Hey guys, this is Zlewikk. You all know by that point that Tinto Talks is all about EU5. It wasn't confirmed officially, but with so many tips, it's pretty sure what game is that. Next week means I have another Tinto Talks for you to explain, and this particular one will be about estates. Besides that, I'll obviously go again through the comment section and what Johan says there, because there's double the information that we can find. But also I'll talk about a random post on the forum that Johan shared last week, at the end of the last week, why this game will start in 1337, where he confirmed that and gave us some reasons for this date. So you see, we are shared in this Tinto Talks with actual map mode of the region that we've seen last week, where it is a confirmation of everyone was talking about, with Byzantine Empire, the Ottomans, Karaman, the Mamluks, etc, etc. And there's already a lot of feedback in the forum saying, oh, why is it so dark? I think it's just a layer that they shared for the needs of the forum. I don't think it's gonna be that dark in the game. The only thing that is really hurting my eyes is how much of the border goal we'll be experiencing because of the non-passable lands. So definitely like to see same map, but with a possibility to have colored wastelands, just like in EU4, where if, let's say, these mountains are mainly bordered by you, it is in your color. First, actually very informational piece of art that we're being shared with this week is this picture of Louis XIV. And as we all know, Louis XIV died in 1714. So we might already say that the game is gonna last at least this year. And one of the guys in my Discord were already calculating what's the time span of EU4, 377 years. And if you take 1337 to 1714, you get 377 years, exactly the same. That's just a small tip, but I would love, honestly, the game to take a bit more than until 1714. Well, yeah, let's move straight to the estates. As it was said in the previous Tinto Talks, there will be nobility, clergy, barriers, and the commoners. Obviously, between all of these estates, we also have the crowns, something that we already knew very much from EU4. This is the UI that we have so far. People don't like it much. I'm also not a big fan of it yet. It seems meh so far, but I'm still counting that there will be a lot of changes to it and improvements. Really, please do make them, because it is not what you're looking for yet. But as said in the previous Tinto Talks, this is not the final art, so we should focus more about the expected mechanics, which could change as well, but we have some basic knowledge on this. So there are a few pieces of information that we have in this screen. First of all, the share of the power, where all of the estates should add up to 100%. Then we'll see the privileges that each estate is having, their current loyalty, and their loyalty equilibrium. So these are really similar to what we have in EU4. We have the land share in EU4, here is the power, with the privileges, same as in EU4, we have the current loyalty and loyalty equilibrium. The only thing that is in EU4, and we don't see it here, is the influence, so I assume it was just replaced by the power. How the power is impacted? First of all, by the quantity of people from the estate, and of course, since there will be obviously a lot of peasants in the country, their quantity of population impact is the smallest. So for example, 1,000 nobles give 50 estate power, while 1,000 peasants give 0.05 of estate power to balance it out. What is interesting and also already for me a bit concerning, the power of the estates might be different for each, and we don't know what, because it's saying here any location. I hope not, because remember, every location is the smallest area in the game, smaller than a province. Maybe it should be for a state or a province itself. But we'll see how they'll figure this out. I'm saying it sounds great, but I just want to avoid too much of micromanagement that we know from the old patches of EU4, where you remember you had to give lands to the estates manually. So here I hope that if they implement this, It's gonna be something working in the background, maybe some events, and not something that we have to actively manage on the daily basis. Because that's might be ending up being too much of micromanagement. But maybe they want to, have the peacetime a bit more challenging and fun for you, so maybe that just extra actions will be part of it. Just please avoid micromanagement that is not so useful. The power of these estates might be also impacted by your laws, reforms, and the privileges that you give to these estates. You see that depending on your crown power, it's gonna impact the different things that you'll be doing, like cost of revoking a privilege, cost of changing your laws, efficiency of your cabinet, etc, etc. Very similar to EU4, if loyalty of your states is above 50%, you will start getting a scaling bonus. Being the smallest at 50%, I assume, and the highest 100%. And same the other way around. Below 50% is becoming a penalty that keeps increasing the lower the loyalty of your estate is. Another little thing that we're getting, word levies that will be provided by the estates. So maybe the war system and the army system work a little bit differently than EU4. Based on this, we can expect that there might be some crown armies that the crown is paying for, but then for the specific wars, we can call estates to prepare levies for us, which, as far as I remember, is similar system to the Crusader King games, but I assume it's gonna be a bit different. You see that they're giving us, in general, what each of these states will be impacting. Nobility will impact prestige and counter-espionage. Clergy will impact research speed and diplomatic reputation. Burghers measured power and production efficiency, while commoners will impact food production and stability costs. A bit about the estate privileges, not really deep thoughts, but you see one example: privilege free mobility for the peasants, which increases their loyalty equilibrium and the power, while it also allows them to migrate. And of course, UI is work in progress. There will be different privileges, and a lot of them will be unique depending on where and what type of the country you will play. They're also mentioning that they don't want to go to economic system yet, including the taxes, but it's important to mention that estates of a country have wealth that is increased by the amount of the money that you are not taking them in the taxes. Rich estates use their wealth on many things, primarily to invest into things that benefit them. That will often also build things that also benefit the country. So they'll be investing their own money in their own buildings, just like in Victoria 3 right now. Just, of course, just is a bad word in a bit similar way. So in the next week, before we even start going to economy, we will talk about a few concepts that are rather new to this game and not being present in the previous games. And we'll also talk about proximity, control, and maritime presence, and all concepts that needs to be taken in detail before we go into the economy system. Let's take a look at the comment section. That's why I'm coming here. Team to talks? Johan random forum comments. Food production? Yes! How to lose estate construction wealth commission? Yes! Yeah, somebody's saying what I mentioned, so the UI of this estate interface is really unattractive. Keep in mind, it wasn't final, so yeah, hopefully it improves over time. You see somebody actually increased brightness of this map, so it looks much more familiar to us now. Finally, we get into some comments from Johan himself. So there is a question if there will be any mechanics for passages like Bosphorus, Dardanelles, Danish belts. And Johan is saying that there are mechanics for these passages that will be revealed later. Welcome to the 15th Talks, where we talk about design for our upcoming top secret game with the codename Project Ceasar. Okay, Johan sat laughing on these words in front of the keyboard, right? What is being said here? And we have a comment from Johan. It is funny. Can estates force through law changes and reforms if they are dissatisfied and powerful enough? Even if you don't call a parliament. There were ways for that. What happens, hello Sealand, if one of the estates gets 100% power? You really can't, as the power percentage is a normalized distribution. Yeah, for example, depends on the population, so I would have to get rid of all the other populations to get it to 100. Estates have wealth and can build on their own, it seems. Somebody played Mew here, so one of the biggest EU4 mods. Ironically, I've never really played MIU beyond testing it. I do have employees from the mod, and I really enjoy talking with Gigao and his friends at the very ParadoxCon. I do have employees from the mod. That might explain some stuff. One thing I was wondering about that might have already been answered, as unlike all major last releases like Victoria 3, achievements won't be tied to Iron Man anymore. Totally understand the reasoning, but still sound sad about it in CK3 Victoria 3. If it's my decision alone, achievements should always require Iron Man. +1 Johan, +1, yes. Can we expect estate periods to be revoked as an instantly click if the requirements are fulfilled? Or it will be a process such as passing a law in Wiki 3. Technically it's a click to remove it. The consequences might not be something you'll be willing to live with though. Will the demands, bonuses and equilibrium of the different estates depend on the state's culture, government or tag? Those impact the tools you can use. However, there is no "you play Scotland, so your nobles have -10 satisfaction." Will countries start with set of privileges or slots will be almost empty as in EU4? They will mostly start with historical privileges and be set up in a way to not have a brewing civil war at the start. Will a ruler's skill still factor into things? The ruler's skill will impact other things we'll talk about later. Oh yeah, that's what I said! Would we be able to toggle impassable terrain, aka wasteland, being the same color as the country that most borders with us in EU4? Yes, it's a toggle. I have it off as I hate that look when it's colored. God damn it, Johan is the best looking game! Why is the map so dark? My screen doesn't have 5000 nits of brightness. Oh, I was playing as Aragon and I had fog of war over that area. God damn it, that explains a lot. If one of these states get dishonest and rebel, would they be represented as rebels? It's rather different, like a civil war in Imperator. That's gonna hurt. Levies? That means standing armies are in the game until the mid to late game, unless appropriate, right? Yes, that's a big difference to EU4. We have already seen the borders of Anatolia last week. Could we get a new area, please? I thought you love Anatolia. I posted the same as a reward to all people who has worked so hard to try to guess the start date. Yes. There are also questions about the Reformation, and we're having our response that Reformation is a longer process and involved many more options along the centuries, from Lords and Hussites to Lutherans and Calvinists. Can nobles and burghers also affect research? Yes, all pops affect research. And finally, the confirmation that the pops will migrate. So as said, a different post from last weekend, from Saturday, Johan confirmed that the start date is 1337, 1st of April, and there are multiple reasons why this date was chosen. It starts before the Black Death, which creates an early game challenge. Many people are complaining that's gonna be terrible to show the Black Death in game, but I think that's actually prolonging the potential game, because if you start very soon into the game with a lot of stuff hitting you, you're gonna be focused on your internal stuff and not doing a world conquest by 1400. France's system of feudal loyalty is tested as Edward III is about to embark upon the 100 Years' War. There will be still a colony on Greenland. We have a big Byzantium, but Ottomans are about to expand. The rise of the Timur is soon to happen. Some players are at their zenith, but facing big challenges such as Mali, Delhi or Yuan. Some others are at their start, like the Aztecs, Cusco, Majapahit or the Ashikaga shogunate. We get to model the transition from feudalist to modern state. That's gonna be super hard. We get to model the transition from feudal levies to standing armies. So what we just talked about. New institutions are blooming in Italy and the rest of Europe, such as the Renaissance or banking. The age is a moment of a change, with three dynasties, Wittelsbach, Luxembourg and Habsburg competing for it, and the Golden Bough not yet enacted. The Catholic Church is at its height, and military orders are crusading in Northeast Europe and the Mediterranean, but the Pope resides in Avignon, which will lead to Western schism with Rome. England's control of the Isles is waning as Bruce Loyalists press the advantage in the Scottish Wars of Independence. An intricate balance of power in Iberia between Christian kingdoms and the Muslim footholds. A different balance of powers in regions such as Eastern Europe, Middle East and Southeast Asia. The steppe hordes and the successors of Eurasia from the Mediterranean to the Pacific, and much more. On the comment, you dropped this. Simon posted a map from 1337, so showing more or less how it could look like. I don't see any comments from Johan, but I know he commented somewhere, maybe below the previous dev diary. And that's the final piece of information I want to share with you, is that he said that they want to avoid modifier stacking in EU5, something that is an issue in EU4, and it's also fun, meaning that you can stack an insane amount of pre-promise source code cost, code creation cost, admin efficiency, many other stuff. It's great to have it as a goal, but it's also making the game super easy if you know how to stack this. That's what I assume they want to avoid in EU5. But yeah, this is all for today, guys. I hope that you did enjoy and find it very informative. And if you did, please do leave a like on this video so we reach more people with the information about the EU5, and subscribe to the channel to get notified about these future videos. Bye!